Hello YouTube family, Merry Christmas and a huge Happy New Year to all of you. With the 2026 World Cup on the way, the energy in the football world is already building and we are thrilled to be sharing it with this amazing community. To celebrate, we have lined up some holiday surprises in the Goal 90 shop. A bunch of your favourite jerseys are already up to 50% off. Shipping is on us, and because you are part of our YouTube fam, you can grab an extra 10% off with the code YouTubeFam. Thanks for all the love and support. 2026 is going to be massive. Let's enjoy every moment together. Right now, Manchester City are in a good place. Top 4 in the Champions League, fully in a title race, and in the semi-final of the Domestic Cup. Life is certainly good for City and their fans right now, especially compared to what they had to face last season. But just when you think all is well, you hear a rumour that the club's greatest ever manager might be leaving, and it just leaves a sour taste in your mouth. Already, Pep has stayed longer at City than he has stayed at any other club in his managerial career, so it shows you how much love he has for the club. But Pep just has never looked like a man who'll do an Alex Ferguson or Arsène Wenger, so you can't be too surprised by the reports that he'll soon be on his way out. At the end of the season, Pep will have been at Manchester City for 10 years, so he might see it as the perfect time to say goodbye. One very successful decade filled with many memories, records and history sounds just perfect, doesn't it? And this is not us just making things up in our head. There are reliable reports saying that the Spaniard might really be on his way out of the club once the season is over. And in fact, Man City are already making preparations in case he indeed does leave. Now, who are some of these coaches who could possibly fill Pep's massive shoes at City? We'll find out in this video today. These are 5 possible replacements for Pep Guardiola at Manchester City. Top of that shortlist right now is Enzo Maresca. The Chelsea manager's stocks rose so high after he beat PSG to win the Club World Cup earlier in the year. He has so many good ideas and he has managed to use them to get results for Chelsea, so it is believed that given a more star-studded and more established squad, he would do much better. These rumours are also very substantiated by a recent comment made by Maresca. After a 2-0 win against Everton in the Premier League, the Italian coach went to the public and talked about how a lot of people don't support him and his team.
The last 48 hours has been the worst 48 hours since I joined the club, because many people didn't support us.
That gave a hint about some possible tension at the club, which could maybe boil over soon. If that happens, in spite of how much progress he has made at the club, if the City job becomes available in the summer, he would likely grab it with both hands. It surely also helps that he has learned directly from Pep himself, having previously worked as both Man City under-23 coach and as assistant manager to Pep himself also at City. Speaking of coaches who have previously worked with Pep Guardiola, Cesc Fabregas is very likely on Man City's list of possible replacements for the boss. As you know, Fabregas worked with Pep at Barcelona and learned a lot from him. And as a coach, you can see some elements of Pep's game in how Cesca's team plays. Como has been doing amazing since Fabregas took over as manager. He helped them gain promotion back to Serie A and then led them to their best finish in the league in 38 years. So yeah, it's obvious he knows his stuff. He is a manager with a lot of ideas. And being a former world-class midfielder just like Pep surely gives him an advantage. Another advantage he has is that he had the same footballing upbringing as Guardiola, having also come up from the famous La Masia Academy. Rumours say that Fabregas has decided to leave Italy once his time at Como is over. So unless the Chelsea, Arsenal or Barcelona job becomes vacant, the World Cup winner could really be at the top of the list for Man City. The huge leap from Como to Manchester City might be a bit of a problem, but his reputation as a football player might make up for his lack of experience as a top coach if need be. There's a couple more possible replacements who have worked with Pep in the past. Do you know who we're talking about here? Take a guess in the comments, we'll see if you're right soon. While you're there, if you aren't yet subscribed to the channel, go do that right away so you never miss out on our amazing content. Up next, let's talk about Oliver Glasner. The Crystal Palace manager will surely be considered by Manchester City if indeed Pep Guardiola leaves in the summer. After Pep, we don't see City going back to a manager without a distinct identity. And when you're talking about a distinct style and philosophy, Glasner really is that guy. He came to England, set Crystal Palace up the way he wanted, made them play a unique style of football, and most of all, achieved incredible success with it. And Manchester City themselves will know all about him as he memorably beat them to win the first trophy in Crystal Palace's Pep's entire history. One more reason he's a top candidate for the job is that he's super confident and ballsy. Remember when, after a big loss, he promised Pep that he would solve this the next time they met, and then went on to actually back up that talk by winning the FA Cup on Pep's head. Yeah, that was really special. This is the kind of guy you hire to take over from someone like Pep. Compared to Fabregas, Glasner has already proven himself in the Premier League with little resources, so City might believe they can trust him with a whole lot more. Also, reports are saying that the Austrian will leave Crystal Palace at the end of the season, so the recruitment process would be pretty straightforward and hassle-free here. Now, remember we said that there are a couple more managers on this list who have worked with Pep. Well, one of them is Vincent Kompany. Right now, he looks super comfortable at Bayern Munich, but Manchester City is one club that has a special place in his heart, so if they indeed do call, he would be very tempted to answer. He was at the club for over a decade and captained it for 8. This is a club where he's a certified legend and hero, so if he's called upon to lead the club to glory once again in a different capacity, we just don't see how he says no. His last time in the Premier League was not great at all, but Bayern Munich took a gamble on him, and he has since proven that he is indeed a top coach with a lot of great ideas. You can say that his only problem at Burnley was that he's a lot like Pep in that he's not really the guy to hire to coach a small club. Kompany's just such an ideal candidate for the City job for many reasons. He is a club legend, he knows and understands the club through and through, he worked with and learned from Pep for so many years, and he has already proven his worth at a really big club, so despite his poor record as a coach in the Premier League, he'd still be a top candidate. But in all of this, we just cannot ignore that one man, Mikel Arteta. He has been both friend and foe to Pep Guardiola, but soon he may just be successor. If you ask around, the majority would tell you that Arteta is the second best coach in the Premier League behind only Pep Guardiola himself, so if City wants sustained dominance after Pep's departure, it only makes sense that they go for the next best thing. Mikel Arteta has La Masia backgrounds just like Pep, and he even learned directly from the man himself while working as his assistant manager at Manchester City between 2016 and 2019. But despite learning a lot from Pep, Arteta has since broken out to discover and develop his own unique and dominant style. Arteta built Arsenal from the ground up. From a banter team, he has turned them to absolute world beaters who everyone is scared of. Yes, he hasn't won those big trophies yet, but you just cannot deny what he has done so far. He's truly an exceptional coach, and if he made himself available today, multiple top clubs would be begging for his signature. But that right there is the problem. Would he be available? Arsenal and Man City have developed a very tense rivalry in recent years, so Arteta leaving Arsenal to move to City might not be received very well by Gooners around the world, but there could still be an opportunity here. If Arsenal don't win the big trophies this season, a huge part of the fan base could turn on Arteta, and that would give him a good reason to just walk away from the job. Or, even though this doesn't look like a huge possibility at this point, the club could sack him for not winning a trophy, and in that case, no Arsenal fan would blame him for joining City. He could also win a big trophy for Arsenal this season and use it as a proper farewell gift. You know, something like, I have completed the job I came here to do, now I want to try a new challenge. It really could happen, you know? And remember, he has history with Man City. He has actually worked with them before, so it's a little like home to him. But hey, maybe we're getting well ahead of ourselves here. Pep still might not leave in the summer, you know, but well, if he does, who do you think should take over from him? Drop their names in the comments and tell us why you think they should. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also turn on the bell notification so you never miss out on new content. Catch you in the next one. Bye.